We are now nearing the business end of the F1 calendar in 2025. Just today morning, the Las Vegas night Grand Prix, the circuit Grand Prix, it ended today, and Max Verstappen, after an initial nudge from Lando Norris earlier on, he managed to ensure that he took the lead in the very first corner, then maintained his position throughout in the 50-lap race, and ensured now that the championship race remains alive, at least for one more race. Because after Las Vegas, this is now the updated points table for the drivers. Lando Norris is 408. Oscar Piastri, his McLaren teammate, 378. At least somewhere, England is getting on top of Australia in some sport, and that is in F1. Max Verstappen, on the other hand, with this win, he's gone to 366. So the gap, when you look at it, between Verstappen and Norris is 42. With Piastri, it is 12. Piastri and Lando Norris, it is 30. And we now have only 2 races remaining in the F1 calendar. But out of that 2, one race carries massive significance. Qatar. Because Qatar not only has a Grand Prix that is going to start on November 30th, prior to that, there will be a sprint race. So you're actually having 2 races in one in Qatar. And November 30th could very well determine who wins the World Championship. After that, you have the year-ender, the season finale in Abu Dhabi on December 7th. Now, if you have to understand for any beginner in F1, what is the point system that is there and how Max Verstappen can still win the F1 championship? Well, see, basically when you look at it, in the current F1 calendar and in the F1 point system, a win gives you 25 points. Second place gives you 18. Third place gives you 15. Fourth place gives you 12. Fifth place 10. Then after everything, sixth place gives you 8. Seventh place gives you 6. Eighth place gives you 4th. Ninth place 2. And 10th place 1. So from 1 to 10, you've got all possible results. So 25 points to 1, that is how incrementally the points are distributed amongst all the drivers who finish in the top 10. But now the twist in Doha is that there is a sprint race. First place will give you 8 points. Second place will give you 7 points. Third place will give you 6 points. Fourth place will give you 5. And 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, top 8, 4, 3, 2, 1. So from 8 to 1, this is how the sprint race is given at this stage. Now, what are the maximum total points which are available? 58 points in total. 50 from the 2 Grand Prix that are there in Doha and Abu Dhabi, that is 25-25, and 8 from the sprint win. Max Verstappen needs to win the remaining races, period. Then and only then he can have a chance. But now it is not in his hands anymore. Because for Verstappen to win the World Championship yet again, Lando Norris has to DNF in both the races. He should not finish in both the races. Even if he does finish in one, he should not finish in the other. There has to be a DNF attached to Lando Norris at this point in time, or Oscar Piastri. This is the clear-cut criterion that's there. So assuming Lando Norris doesn't finish the sprint and Qatar, he is stuck on 408. Verstappen wins both sprint and Qatar. He gets 35 points. The gap now narrows to just 7. Then 18 and 25, if you have to do it, if that happens, then Lando Norris finishes 3rd and Verstappen wins Abu Dhabi. He would have won the World Championship. But how can Lando Norris seal the title? If Norris comes out of the Doha Grand Prix with a 26-point lead, he will seal the championship. The gap between Piastri, Verstappen and Lando Norris, the gap between these two has to be 26 points heading into Abu Dhabi. Because Abu Dhabi doesn't have a sprint race. Only 25 points will be up for grabs. So if 26 points the lead is there, Lando Norris would have done it. But imagine this situation. Norris doesn't finish in Abu Dhabi, in Qatar. Max Verstappen wins the sprint and Doha. 7-point gap. And if it is 1-2, Norris finishes second, Max Verstappen finishes first in Abu Dhabi, you'll be tied on points. And then you'll have to go on count back. It is still not over. This World Drivers' Championship race in 2025 is still not over. November 30th, you'll figure out whether Lando Norris will win the F1 title for the very first time, or will Super Max continue his 5 unbeaten Formula One championships that's there, because he's been in dominant form ever since 2021. So this will be very, very important. You're shaping up for a thriller in both Qatar and Abu Dhabi. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.